If you don't wear the right bike shoe, you get this or this. So which shoe protects you best and is the most fun to ride? Let's go head to head in a shootout with the two most popular models, 510 and Ride Concepts. Hi, I'm Paul Andrews with another episode of PNW MTB, celebrating mountain biking in the Great Pacific Northwest and beyond. Now here in the PNW, we spend a lot of time riding wet, slimy, greasy, slippery, moss infested. Well, you get the idea. So keeping foot applied to pedal is not just important, it's a real struggle. You want the right pedal for sure, but that's only half the battle. You have to have the right shoe as well. So on the one hand, or I should say foot, I have my trusty 510 Freeride Pro Stealth shoes. On the other is Ride Concepts' new Powerline. And before you ask, yes, it does come in red. Now, how do they compare? Well, before I go further, I should note my standard disclaimer. I paid for these shoes out of my own pocket, so nothing in this review is sponsored, and everything I say is totally honest and just my opinion. I've been a 510 user almost from the start. I actually had some Shimano flats for a while after going through several sets of plain old tennis shoes, which, by the way, don't bother. The Shimanos were okay, but this was before 510 offered the big breakthrough, sticky soles. My original 510s had that terrific advantage of a grippy sole and were great riding shoes. They really stuck to the pedals, but they were awful walking shoes. There was no contoured fit, no arch support. You just felt like you weren't in a real shoe. 510 gradually fixed all that to where today they've much improved the fit and walkability of the shoe, and they still have that dimpled, grippy sole and are pretty much the gold standard for mountain biking. But a truly worthy contender has surfaced with Ride Concepts, which was founded by a mountain climber on the principle that improvements could be made. So how do these two brands square off? From a visual comparison, you can see differences immediately. RC has the raised instep or ankle guard, which I really like. I have pointy ankles that periodically clip a bottom bracket, pedal, or trail obstacle, and it's like hitting your funny bone. In other words, not funny at all. And if you look at the sole line, you can see how the RC is a great walking shoe as well. I wear a size 45 and the Powerlines fit me like a glove right out of the box, which surprised me. I have medium wide forefoot and narrow ankles, so more of what is typically considered an Italian fit. For reference, CDs and Shimanos have always fit me the best. Others like Pearl Izumi and Giro, not so much. RC have a reputation for a wide foot, though, and I was worried they'd have too much slop. So I was impressed with how well they fit. Now, you cannot see it on the video, but take my word, the toe box of the Powerlines is the most well-designed on the market. It really offers around the forefoot protection over the top as well as on the sides, and it's not only bigger toe box than the Freeride Pros, it's burlier too. Kudos for RC for getting this right. Anyone who's slipped a pedal knows how much you need that toe protection. The RCs lace up really snugly, no complaints there. If you like a Velcro strap, they offer that in different models, but it's not a big deal to me. The other trick I love is the elastic lace retainer on the RCs, which the 510s don't have. I also happen to like red, but if you don't, the Powerlines come in black and kind of cool charcoal orange as well. So how do the RCs and the 510s compare on performance? As far as walkability, the Powerlines offered me more midsole and ankle support and just generally fit and comfort overall. The 510s, for all their great ride qualities, still feel more like a bike shoe than a walking shoe. I don't really tend to walk around much in my bike shoes anyway, but the nod here definitely does go to RC. Now, for where the rubber meets the road, or I should say pedal, how do these puppies compare out on the trail? Now, to make my test totally objective, I rode each pair blindfolded down my favorite trail in mud and rainy condition. No, I'm just kidding. Ride feel is totally subjective, as you know, but to keep this comparison on equal footing, so to speak, what I did do is this. I rode with the 510 on one foot and the RC on the other, and then switched them back to the opposite foot. I also rode on pavement as well as dirt, since I wanted to be able to kind of factor out the surface variation on my evaluation. Yeah, I know the things we reviewers do for you YouTubers. Anyway, here's what I found. When it comes to grip, the 510s are still king. If you like that secure, locked-in feeling on a pedal, they're just hard to beat. I was surprised at how marked this feature was actually compared to the Ride Concepts. Grippy soles are pretty much across the board now, so I thought one was pretty much like the other. But the 510s, they've got some magic potion there. But here's the deal. The RC sole takes a noticeably different approach, and it takes a little sorting out. When I first rode them, I was kind of taken aback at the lack of the RC's stickiness. As I rode them more, though, I got the sense that it's intentional. And why, I don't know, but when it comes to flats, I like the ability to move around a bit on a long climb, for example. You're pedaling over and over. I like to move around a bit. Or for up and down sections, I like my foot forward a bit on the pedal. And of course, on drops and doubles, I want my heels more forward. And there's times on roller coasters when I like to kind of wrap my insole around the pedal surface. I hope this is making some sense. But what I found with the 510s is that once you plant your foot, it stays right in that position, and you can't really change it until the pedal stroke allows you to lift a bit off the screws. Well, the RC felt a bit slippery at first in this department, but I actually ended up liking the fact I could kind of twist my ankle and move the ball of my foot around on the pedal. It's a bit disconcerting at first, but I really grew to like it. And when I psychologically adjusted to the fact, I wound up appreciating the variety it brought to the ride. Yeah, you don't have that kind of locked-in grip, but it's plenty grippy. I didn't find myself slipping around too much, just enough, and that made a difference. Now, it turns out the Ride Concepts built this feature in with its dimple shape, which is hexagonal rather than round, and in a barbell continuation pattern at the toe and at the heel. It's pretty clever, although I like to say it does take some getting used to, and it may ultimately be a matter of personal preference. If you do like moving your feet around on the pedals, though, the RCs are definitely worth checking out. Now, I can't compare durability yet because I haven't had the RCs long enough, but haven't had any issues ever with the 510s, and the RCs do seem really well constructed. So I hope I didn't put my foot in my mouth on this review. I hope it helps, and I hope to see you rocking my red shoes out on the trail.